Hello, and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. I love how technology works, so I'm just going to keep playing, right? Okay, so welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 130 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts designed for folk with a growth mindset or folk who'd like to create one. It's a series designed for folks who want to get better at being who they be, and they're not distracted by just getting better at doing what they do. All right, so, wow. Now that we've got sound working today, I've spent the majority of this week, 5 days this week, Tuesday through Saturday, 4 or 5 hours a day in a mastermind with my coach and 30 other coaches from around the planet. In the app that we're using to communicate and to share information, we've been sharing pictures of ourselves as children. And Lynn, Pavlos Jenkins, I know you're on this broadcast, so you'll love this. You've seen it before. I shared one of me from when I was 2.5 years old. And what I love about this little guy, it's not just the painfully adorable outfit and the gleeful grin. What I'm thankful for is the energy of that little boy is still part of who I am today. The ebullience, the laughter, the curiosity, and that seemingly endless fascination for people. And what I notice about him most is that sense of play. And so that's what the quote is that we're playing with today is a Pablo Neruda quote. A child who does not play is not a child. The adult who does not play has lost forever the child inside. You know, I find that there is an amazing power in that boundless childlike curiosity, and that I can bring that to solve even the most intractable of problems. Look, when engaged, a child can spend hours playing with and experimenting with what's in front of them with an enthusiasm that seems endless. And adults who channel that same energy, that same indefatigable intensity, can overcome absolutely any obstacle. If for no other reason than, like Einstein said, he said that it's not that he's smarter, it's that he stayed with the problem longer. So what I'm curious about this week is, where does your inner child show up in your life? How could that serve you if it showed up more often? And what would more play in your life make possible? That's the opportunity to play with. The child who does not play is not a child, but the adult who does not play has lost forever the child who lived inside. And sadly, they've lost the power that comes from that childlike curiosity and that childlike energy and that childlike intensity, and the willingness to just draw, just create, just play, just experiment, without judgment, internal or external, not care. One of the exercises we did this week in the mastermind was to create the cover for our next book. Okay, so I totally freaked out at that idea of that exercise because, I've got one coming out in 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to write another one right now. I'm just about to release one. But it was about, they sent us, our coach sent us pens and paper and pencils and supplies to really create the cover. And I look at the blank page and I'm like, because the first thought that went into my head was, I can't draw. And kids don't think I can't draw. Kids just draw. And granted, I created a cover. I didn't really do a lot of drawing, but the point was I created the cover. And I realized that as I started, the first draft of it I made, I was like, oh, that looks terrible. Then I let go of that, threw it out, and started over, because as I was writing or drawing, I was thinking about, oh my God, how are people going to judge how well I did this? Ugh. That's the adult. That's the internal critic. That's something that we're trained to think is, how are people going to receive this? If I stayed stuck on the thought of how people would receive this, I wouldn't have got through episode 1 of this, let alone episode 130. Ooh, that's my reminder to turn off the audio. I would never have gotten through the first episode. It's not that I don't care what people think, it's that I care more about being true and on target and on message. And when I let go of the what are other people going to think, I can pick up the pen, pick up the paper, and start writing and start crafting concepts for the chapters and an idea for the book and the ethos behind it. Whether I ever write that one or not is not important. It was letting go of the internal judgment and leaning into the play. It was letting go of the voice inside, letting go of that judge saboteur that we all have. You've heard me talk a lot about positive intelligence and the body of work there and working with saboteurs. Play allows us to step beyond the voice of those saboteurs, of those gremlins, of the internal judge, and lean into creation. Lean into playing with outcome instead of trying to craft the perfect outcome. Oh my God, if I waited till anything that I put out there was perfect, I never would put out anything. I give credit if I remembered where I heard it. I'm sure it came from my Vistage chair during a meeting years and years ago. I don't know where it originated before that. The phrase is done beats perfect. And one thing that kids are brilliant at is playing and just saying done. So this is an opportunity this week to invite that childlike enthusiasm, that childlike curiosity, that child's boundless energy, that indefatigable intensity. Bring your child's power into your day, your week, into any problem that you're facing. I promise you, we are not going to work ourselves through these unprecedented times, no more than we worked ourselves through the financial readjustment that we had in 2008 and 2009. The people and the organizations and the companies that innovated and invested their way out of the recession of 2008 and 2009 are the ones who thrived on the other side. The ones who entrenched and worked through, no. It took experimentation, and it took play, and it took innovation, and it took creativity. Those are the domain of the childlike brain that's independent of the adult criticism and third-party observer and judge, saboteur, and gremlins. Children don't have those saboteurs. Those are voices of learned behavior. Your childlike enthusiasm, your childlike curiosity is the answer. Channel that energy. And it's not something you have to build, create, or buy. It's there. You had it. And because you had it, you still have it. That's the coolest part. This is not something that has to be made or created out of whole cloth. This is something that has to be re-accessed and surfaced. Mary Virginia says, I hear what you say about play, and my first reaction is discouragement. Something else I'm doing wrong, because I'm supposed to shoehorn it into my busy life. I found that I have to allow that play for me right now has to look like what it looks like. So play for me is listening to music while I walk and occasionally breaking into dance on the street. Mary Virginia, I love that. And yes, I get that natural first reaction of, oh crap, I'm doing something wrong. That's the very voice of learned behavior that is designed to keep you safe, but also keeps you dry. Now, I'm not saying you are, but that voice is that's designed to keep us safe. That voice that says, ooh, don't be different, because 100,000 years ago, when we chose to be different than the tribe, we could be shunned. And being alone at that point was not a way to survive. You could die. So this is not the opportunity to figure out how to do something different, how to shoehorn something into your busy day. Mary Virginia, I love that idea of just breaking into dance in the middle of the day, standing at the desk. Where can you find play? What's the tiniest area you can insert play into what you're already doing? The easiest place to start inserting play, I make up, is around language. Changing the language that you use. What am I going to work on this morning is different than what will I play with today? I don't start my coaching calls. My God, there's so many times that coaches will start their calls with a client saying, hey, what do you want to work on today? What are we going to play with today? Has a totally different energy. And it's not that the ideas aren't serious, and that's not that the topics aren't serious. There's a different energy around playing with an idea than there is around working on something. So where are the opportunities for you to bring play into your world? Better question, where will you bring play into your world? Where are the just what, as Robin McKillop says, what will I play with today? Oh my God, what if that's the question you asked yourself every morning when you started your day before you looked at your calendar? What would happen if that's the first question you asked yourself? How different would the energy be? So I want to challenge you to go get a picture of yourself somewhere before the age of 5 and print it out and put it on your desk to remind yourself about play. What if that little kid stared at you all day, reminding you, yeah, you already know how to play. This isn't something new. This is something very old that wants to come back out. Let it. Notice the difference in how people react to playing with new ideas, playing with new concepts, playing with new solutions. Experimentation is the very expression of play. We do not see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. The language you choose and the perspectives you choose, the lens through which you see the world shifts and changes and defines the way you experience the world. It's the whole point behind this entire broadcast series in the book. The lens you choose to see the world shifts, changes, and defines the way you experience the world. What if the lens you used when you were looking through the lens of play? How different would your experience be? How much more enjoyable would your experience be? So, you've got an entire week ahead of you. Regardless of where you are on the planet today, this is Monday. The rest of the week is laid out before you. Where will you choose to bring play into your week? I love that, Lynn. Play will be my mindset each morning. Thank you. Keep it simple, keep it clear. Play will be my mindset each morning. Look at your day through the lens of play and see what changes. Notice what changes. So folks, between now and next week, I invite you to come to facebook.com/groups/Mindset Mondays. Would love you to share your experiences with and your thoughts around play. Love to have you join that conversation. And as I ask every week, between now